staying on top of AP can be a tedious and cumbersome process. But with the help of Excel, I'm going to show you how you can set up a template that'll make it easy to manage them and prioritize which bills to pay for the upcoming check run. Here, I've got a sample data set where I've got invoice IDs, invoice dates, due dates, vendor names, categories, amounts, and whether they've been paid or unpaid. And so let's turn this into something a bit more usable and dynamic that's going to help us stay on top of all these invoices. Now, the first thing I'm going to do before I even get started is convert this into a table, because once we've got it into a table, any formulas that we set up, any changes that we make, everything's going to automatically update as we add more data to this. So I'm going to go to the Insert tab, click on Table, and leave the default set. My table has headers. It's automatically detected my range. I'm going to click on OK, and just change the formatting to something that's easy to read and see. And for the table name, I'm going to call it AP table. So it's easy to reference now. And now that that's set up, I'm going to create some extra fields. One for the age. So for the age of the invoice, I'm going to be looking at this invoice date right here. But because I don't necessarily want to base it on today's date, I want to focus on the check run date. So potentially a date into the future. So I'm going to insert a few rows above here, and I'm going to have a field where I'm going to call the cutoff date. And so let's say I'm looking at June 1, 2026 as being my cutoff. I'm going to change this to a date format that it's easy to see, create a bit of an outline, and create a named range. So I'm just going to type in cutoff right there. So that's my cutoff. So it's easy to reference it. I don't have to worry about what specific cell range it is. So with that set up, I'm going to create a formula here. So I'm going to start with an if statement, because if it's been paid, then I don't need to worry about it. So if the status is set to paid, then the value is just going to be blank, because I'm going to essentially skip over it. Otherwise, what I'm going to do is take that cutoff date and subtract the invoice date. So the cutoff date is going to tell me, what the age of that invoice is as of that cutoff date. So this can be useful if we got a check run in the future, potentially a week or 2 weeks ahead, and we want to know what it will be at that point in time, not necessarily what it is today. So I'm going to close this out. And so right now these are blank because obviously these invoices have been paid. But if I go down further where I've got my unpaid invoices, now I see what the aging is for each one of them. And so now the next thing I'm going to do is create an aging category, and a table for the aging category, because I want to be able to group these into buckets based on whether they're current, whether they fall in the 30 plus range, 60 plus, 90 plus, or 120 plus. So to do that, I'm going to create yet another table up here. So I'm going to create just two fields, one for aging and one for category. So if something is 0 or current, I'm going to put it in that category. Once it hits 30, I'm going to put it in the 30 plus category. Once it hits 60, it's going to be 60 plus, 90 will be 90 plus, and then 120 will be 120 plus. So a simple lookup there. And again, I'm going to put this into a table. So I'm going to insert, create a table, and I'm going to call it my aging table. So again, easy to reference here. And I'm just going to create a lookup now based on the age. So here I'm going to create another field for aging category. Expand this out. And now I'm going to create another formula. This time I'm going to create an if statement to say if the age is blank, then again, leave it as blank because I've got nothing to look up. Otherwise, I'm going to use the lookup function to reference this age and look at my table that I've just created, so my aging table, and I'm going to reference that second column because that is what I'm going to extract from that table based on my lookup. So the second column, and now my range lookup. Now this one I'm going to set to true because I'm looking for an approximate match. I'm not looking for exact matches. And now close this out. And again, my aging category is going to be blank here. But once I go down to my unpaid ones, now you'll see anything that's over 120 days goes to the 120 bucket. Anything over 90 goes into the 90 plus, and so on. So we've got this breakdown now. This can be obviously very useful when you're analyzing your payables to see these different buckets to know how much is in each one. So just like that, we've added a few useful fields. I'm going to add just one more here, and that is whether to include these invoices in the check run. So I'm going to create a field include in check run, because, even if something's over 60 days, we may not necessarily want to include it in the check run depending on different constraints. Maybe there's a special issue with that type of invoice that we don't need to pay it right now. It gives you a bit more discretion. I'm going to select this entire field here. I'm going to go to the Insert tab, and if you're running the newest version of Excel, you'll have an option here to add a checkbox. If you don't, you could just use a series of X's, whatever the case may be. You can just manually key in an X, but if you have access to it, the checkbox is going to make it really easy, because now what you can go through is click and indicate whether you want to include this one or not, and it's going to make your template all the more easier to use, because it's going to be much more dynamic and easier to see what you're including in your check run and what you're not including. So I've got my table, the outline of it set up. I've got my aging category. So now I'm going to create some summaries of this and calculate my check run total based on my selections. So I'm going to insert a few rows above here just to create some extra space. One thing I'm going to add is a field for the budget, because let's say we're running tight on a certain amount of money. We can't pay every single invoice that we have. We need to prioritize. So let's say I'll put a budget of $20,000 for this upcoming check run. And the idea being, I'm going to set this as an input field, because again, we want to change the cutoff date and potentially how much we want to spend on the check run. So those are things that we can set up rules around. And for the budget specifically, I'm going to set up conditional formatting rules to give us an indication of how close we are to that budget. Over to the left here, I'm going to create an AP summary, giving me a breakdown of those different buckets that I have here for current, 30, 60, 90, 120, and so on. So I'm going to copy this, paste it into here. And what I'm going to do now is calculate how much of my AP falls into these different buckets. And so for this, I'm going to create a formula where I'm going to use a SUMIF function to look at this specific range for the aging category. So if the criteria, it's looking at this value here. So if it's current, we're going to sum up the amounts in the amount field. And the benefit of using a table, now we can see exactly the fields that we're referencing. I'm going to hit enter. And now that's our total for the current value for the current category. And I'm going to copy this down throughout here. And now I can sum up my total. So I'm going to call this total AP. And so now we've got a nice breakdown and summary of this. And so I'm just going to merge this and just create some visuals to make it easier now to exactly see what all of our values look like based on these classifications. This can be useful when you're analyzing your AP. You can see how good or bad the situation is. Do you have a lot of values, a lot of invoices that are over 60, over 90 days? What kind of priority do you need to focus on which types of invoices? So that gives us a good overview of this. But what I'm also going to do is obviously calculate my check run total. So here I'm going to type in check run total, and I'm going to create another formula here. This time I'm going to do a SUMIF based on whether I'm including it in the check run. So this time I'm looking at these values, and here the criteria is it set to true? If it is, then we're going to pull in these amounts. Hit enter. So right now it's set to 0, but the idea is if I check this off, you'll see now it's going to update dynamically. So it makes it really cool, really easy to now just make changes to these values on the fly and select which invoices we want to pay on the current check run. And what I'm also going to do is make this a bit bigger and have it stand out a bit more. So I'm going to use merge and center here, and let's make it centered, make the font a bit bigger here. So let's just see what these values look like. So as you can see, really dynamic, really cool looking, because now it's a lot easier to visualize exactly what our amount is. But I'm also going to add some conditional formatting as well, because I'm going to tie this into the budget to help identify, how we are looking on the check run based on what we want to spend. Because right now our budget's $20,000. I've already selected $25,000. Now these are already paid. But the idea is I want to create this template so it's really easy and dynamic to basically evaluate our position for the upcoming check run. I'm going to merge this as well, merge and center. Normally you don't want to merge, but in this case, for presentation purposes, it's not a big deal. We're not doing any formulas here. So we've got our check run total, and let's create an outline here as well. So we've got a nice summary already of this. I'm going to move these values over here just so they're aligned with this. There we go. So, and let's center this just to make it easier to see this and summarize this. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set up some conditional formatting based on this value here. So over here next to the budget, I'm going to take this value and divide it by my budget. Because this is going to convert into a value, so 1.2. But what I'm also going to do is multiply this by 100. The reason being is I'm going to set up some conditional formatting, and it's a lot easier when we're not dealing with decimals. In this case, I do have decimal, but the value is more than 1. So here for this conditional formatting, and I'm going to type in just PCT for percent, just another named range, makes it easy when I'm setting up conditional formatting rules. So for conditional formatting, I'm going to create a new rule and use a formula. And I'm going to say equals PCT is greater than, let's say, 100. If it's more than 100%, then we're over budget. In this case, let's format this so it's red, a bright red, to say, hey, we're over budget, which is exactly what we want, right? So now if I change this value, or let's say I uncheck this, now it doesn't apply. Now we're at about 56%. So let's create another conditional formatting rule. I'll go to manage, and I can duplicate this rule and then just edit this now so that if it's, let's say if it's over 90%, we're getting close. Then maybe I'll want to use a lighter shade of red for the fill color. So if I select more colors, I can select something a bit lighter. And then for the font, that still looks okay. So now if we've got it over 90, then it's going to be a lighter shade of red. Let's duplicate it one more time. And you can set these up, obviously, however many times you want. Let's say over 75 will be another threshold where we can set it to an orange color to say, okay, we're getting close to red, but not quite there. And here I may want to use a black font just to help it stand out a little bit more. So a black font, click OK. And let's create another rule to say, okay, as long as we've got a value there, I'm just going to put it as 1. Then I'm going to set the fill color to green. Let's do this one. Font color white. The idea being that, okay, if it falls in there, then it's going to be green. So yellow if it's over 75, 90. If it's over 90, then it's going to be red. And so the rules are going to be applied in this order. So I want to rearrange these. So I'm going to put the red one at the very top and the green one at the very bottom. So I'm going to click on apply now. And so now you can see that I'm going to check stop if true just to make sure that it doesn't keep on applying these rules. So now we can see that at 11,000, we're at 56%. So we're under budget, well under budget. Let's add a few more invoices here to get to 66. We're still not at the 75, getting close. Let's add another smaller one here. There we go. Now we're at 80%. So it gets us to that yellow highlighting. Let's add another one here. Still yellow, but let's say I add another one. This will put me over, so maybe a bit too much. Let's grab a smaller one here. So there we go, at 90%. So we've got that lighter shade of red. But by doing this, now you can play around with, which checks to include, which ones to not include, and then to see, okay, how you are as far as meeting that budget. So this value here is really for calculation purposes. So I'm just going to hide this by making that font white. So make it disappear. So if I want to uncheck these, obviously my balance is going to go to 0 as I do that. So right now my check run is 0 because I haven't selected anything. One thing I'm also going to do is add some slicers to this, because right now, if you're going through this, you're going to have to manually go through and use drop downs and figure out what you're looking at. But with tables, you can actually set up slicers to filter through this data really easily. So with my table selected, I can go to insert and select slicer. So slicers are normally used in pivot tables, but you can use them in regular tables as well. One of the ones I'm going to use is include in check run. I'm going to select aging category and also vendor name. I'm going to click OK. And I'm going to show you the value of why we're going to do this. So for the aging category, I'm going to put that right up here. And let's shrink this down a bit. And so I could make this a bit wider if I wanted to, but for right now, that gives me everything I need to look at. And then we can change the look of the slicer as well. So if we, depending on our color scheme, what we want to look at, really easy to set up. For vendors, this is really important as well, because we may have certain vendors that we need to prioritize to make sure that they get paid up potentially sooner than the others. You don't want to admit that that's the case, but that's a reality in AP. There's going to be some that are going to be maybe more of a headache for you than others. And so this is really why we don't want to scroll through like this. I can add a couple columns here, so 2 or 3, depending on how many vendors you have, and spread this out nicely. So now it's really easy now to look through these, and again, set up any sort of formatting that you want. And so it's a lot easier now to be able to filter through and say, okay, let's focus on invoices that fall into these categories. I'm also going to insert another few rows here, because what I'm going to do for this include in check run, I'm going to shrink this down, and I'm only really going to have false or true. I'm going to set it to 2 columns and just set it wide so that it's right down here, and expand this a little further down. So just so that, if we're looking at what's included in the check run, it's really easy to do that by just clicking this button. So I'm just going to adjust this just so it's not cut off. There we go. So it fits nicely in there. And to shrink this down. And one thing that's really useful in using a template like this, where you've got everything on one page, is to freeze the panes. So if I select this row here, I'm going to go to View and select Freeze and Freeze Panes. Because if I don't, now I scroll through, I lose where I'm at. So if I freeze panes, this is a really simple thing to do that's going to make your template much more useful, because now look at this. I can scroll through this. I still see these values on here. So now it makes my template a lot easier and functional in that case. I'm going to shrink some of these columns down a little bit, and potentially shrink these down. The idea being that, we want to see as much as we can in our viewpoints. So you may want to just adjust the size of the rows and columns. I'm going to turn off the grid lines just because I've already got outlining here. And now you can see I've got a nice setup for this. So the idea being is, let's say we're going through our invoices, finding out which ones to pay. So let's say we need to pay this vendor specifically. This is a priority vendor, so we're going to look at, anything. Let's say look at 90 plus. We've got 190 plus. Let's add that one in there. Let's look at 60. Okay, let's pay their 60s. And that's it. We're not going to focus on the 30s. Let's also look at this vendor. That's also a priority. Let's look at 60, right? And we're already over budget, right? So that's bad news. We probably should prioritize the 120. So let's get rid of the 60s. So by doing this, you can see it's a lot easier now to manage your payables, your invoices, to see which ones you have room to pay on this check run, which ones are going to have to wait potentially to the next one. But by doing this, it makes it a lot easier now to stay on top of your payables. And all you really need to do is download your data from your accounting software and put it in a format like this. You may not need all these fields. Like, I'm not using due date in this, but I know that with accounting software, you're probably going to have the invoice date and the due date. So if you don't need to use that, you don't need to fill that in. The key ones that obviously you need are going to be the amount, a status, a vendor name, I would think, but you can always set up the template based on your individual needs. I'll leave a link in the description for this video where you can download this template to try out. And, if you want to use that, obviously you can just copy and paste your data into here. I'm going to create another version of this that does have macros and can do some more things, but I'm going to leave a standard version that you can use, download from my site, and use it if you see fit and if it works for you. And if you have any comments or suggestions on how to make improvements, what would be better, what you'd like to see, let me know in the comments. But I think, with AP, when it comes to managing all these invoices, can be really helpful using a template like this, because as you can see, it's really dynamic, easy to update now, and to see exactly what invoices you need to pay, and easy to stay on top of them. If you want to clear your filters, by the way, you click on this option for the filter option, and that'll show you all the values in here, all the invoices again. But by doing it this way, now it's a lot easier now to visualize what your AP values are, see a snapshot of your summary, and slice and dice the data as you need to. So I hope you found this video useful. If you did, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching.